Welcome everyone to Ottawa Public Health's Healthy Eating and Active Living Guidelines for After-School Programs. After-school programs are an important setting for promoting both healthy eating and active living to children and youth. The Healthy Eating and Active Living Guidelines were developed to provide information and tools for after-school program staff and volunteers to help them support children in developing healthy living behaviors. There are 3 sets of guidelines. The first 2 are related to healthy snacks and physical activity. The third set of guidelines will help you create a positive environment so that children and youth attending your programs can develop a good relationship with food and physical activity, as well as feel good mentally and physically. There are many benefits to eating well and being active. Eating and drinking healthy foods and beverages provides fuel for optimal growth and brain development, provides nutrients for strong bones, teeth, and muscles, improves performance at school, as well as decreasing the risk of children getting sick now and in the future. Being active for 2 or 3 hours per week also improves performance at school, helps to improve self-esteem, contributes to social skills, and decreases the risk, again, of getting sick now and in the future. Healthy behaviors like eating patterns and physical activity levels that are started in childhood and adolescence often transfer into adulthood, so it's very important that we provide opportunities to develop these behaviors at a young age. The goal of these guidelines is for after-school programs to support healthy eating and make the healthy choice the easy choice by providing a variety of nutritious, safe, and culturally appropriate foods and beverages. So let's start with what a healthy snack looks like. Whenever possible, prepare and offer snacks using whole and fresh foods. Try to limit processed and prepackaged foods that are higher in added sugar, salt, and saturated fat. You can use Canada's Food Guide to help you make a well-balanced snack. Try to include food from at least 2 food groups from Canada's Food Guide, as well as including at least 1 vegetable or fruit. It's also important that tap water is always available and accessible, and you can always encourage children to use reusable water bottles. So in terms of what a healthy snack might look like, something like an apple with a couple pieces of cheese, or carrots and celery sticks with hummus and pita, or something like yogurt and berries are all great examples of healthy snacks that are easy to use in an after-school program. In order to help you choose healthy food from each of the 4 food groups, we've created the Healthy Food and Beverages list to help guide your choices. We have 6 different categories to go over, including all 4 food groups, as well as a beverage and an others category to catch those foods that don't fall into one of the food groups. You'll notice that we've separated foods into 2 different columns: choose for foods to serve often, and instead of for foods to limit. So let's go over some examples from each of these categories. You can certainly refer to the guidelines document for full detail when you're shopping for food. We'll start with vegetables and fruit. Fresh and frozen vegetables and fruit are a great example of foods that fit under the choose column. Offer whole vegetables and fruit instead of fruit-flavored juices, even if they're 100% juice, because they do contain a high amount of added sugar. If you're going to offer canned fruit, look for options that are packaged in water or juice instead of those packaged in syrup. Grains is the category where food choices are often less black and white. There are many different grain-based snacks like cereals, crackers, and granola bars. We're going to provide you with some guidance in terms of reading the nutrition label to help you make healthy choices. All whole grains fit within these guidelines. So for example, whole grain wheat, whole oat, oatmeal, brown or wild rice, rye, barley, and quinoa would all fit. It's important that you look for whole grain as the first ingredient in the ingredient list. Choose whole grains instead of white breads, bagels, or commercial baked goods. And when you're looking at crackers, cereals, and other grain-based snacks like granola bars, try to find products that have 2 grams or more of fiber, 6 grams or less of sugar, 150 milligrams or less of sodium per serving, and where whole grain is the first ingredient. Choose cow's milk or fortified soy beverage more often instead of other milks like almond, hemp, or rice milk. These milks aren't always fortified with calcium and vitamin D, and they tend to have less protein than cow's milk and fortified soy beverage. We also recommend avoiding flavored milks like chocolate and strawberry milk because of the high amount of added sugar that are in these products. As for cheese, look for non-processed cheese that's also pasteurized. So for example, cheddar, mozzarella, Swiss, and cottage cheese would all work. And try to choose these instead of processed cheese slices and spreads like cream cheese. And finally, choose plain yogurt instead of ice cream and frozen yogurts. Flavored yogurt can fit sometimes, but do be aware that it has a higher sugar content than plain yogurt. consider sweetening plain yogurt yourself with fresh or frozen fruit. Okay, so moving on to the last food group, meat and alternatives. So some examples in the choose column include hummus or other bean spreads, as well as nuts, nut butters, or soy nuts and soy butter if there are concerns with nut allergies. Try to limit processed meats, including deli meats that have a high salt content. Instead, choose meat alternatives like eggs, beans, tofu, or lean cuts of meat, and canned light fish like tuna. In terms of drinks, water should be the top choice for hydration. Water can be naturally flavored with lemon, herbs, veggies, and fruit. Like I mentioned before, cow's milk and fortified soy beverage are also appropriate beverages to serve. Anything that's flavored with an artificial sweetener or added sugar should be avoided, along with caffeinated drinks, pop, and other sports drinks or energy drinks. Foods that fall in the other category tend to fall outside of the 4 food groups and are typically higher in sugar, saturated fat, and salt, so these should be avoided if possible. These items include things like candy, chips, chocolate, energy bars, and gummies. So that's it for the healthy food and beverage list. Now you know how to plan for and buy foods to create a healthy and well-balanced snack. While we know that it's important to pay attention to nutrition, we also need to be sure that the snacks we serve to children and youth are safe. Food safety means knowing how to prevent the spread of bacteria when you're buying, preparing, and storing food. Food that isn't bought, prepared, and stored safely can spread bacteria and make people sick. This is known as foodborne illness or food poisoning. Washing our hands is the best prevention against spreading bacteria that can cause illnesses. A proper hand washing routine is very important, especially when working with kids. If you'd like more information on food safety and hand washing, please visit the ottawapublichealth.ca website. Also, be sure to ask about and respect children's individual needs such as allergies or food intolerances, and religious or cultural food choices. If a child can't have something that you're offering, it's important that there's an alternative available for them. Now let's move on to our active living guidelines. The goal for this set of guidelines is for after-school programs to support physical literacy development by providing a variety of opportunities for children to be active, as well as reduce their time being sedentary. Try to offer at least 30 minutes of active time during after-school programming. The more you can offer, the better. Remember, this could be the only active time that some children get in a day. Offer opportunities for children to practice different fundamental movement skills. What are these skills? Well, they include walking, running, jumping, skipping, throwing, kicking, and catching. Children need to learn these skills to feel confident being active. Take children outside to play and connect with nature. Research has shown that active play in nature and outdoors, with its risks, is necessary for healthy child development. A big aspect of promoting active living is reducing the amount of time children spend being sedentary. If you can, provide opportunities for children to stand up and move every hour to reduce their time being sedentary. Also, try to avoid leisure screen time like television, tablets, and computers in your programs. This is screen time that isn't related to homework. And finally, we're moving on to our last set of guidelines that are all about creating a positive environment. This last set of guidelines are meant to help after-school programs create an environment that supports mental and physical well-being. We provide you with lots of tips in the guidelines document that you can refer to. I'm just going to go over a few examples. Did you know that some children need to taste a food up to 20 times before they accept it? Offer and encourage children to sample a variety of new healthy foods, and don't give up on a food or pressure a child to eat a food if they turn it down. The more it's offered, the more likely it will be that the child will try it. Involve children in some aspect of snack time, such as planning, preparing, cooking, and cleaning up. Children are more likely to try new foods if they're involved in the process. Don't offer foods as a reward or punishment for behavior. When treats like sweets and chips are given as a reward, they may become more appealing. This leads children to develop a preference for them instead of healthier foods. It also encourages them to eat because of emotion instead of hunger. Also, consider the likes and abilities of each child when planning physical activities. Switch it up to allow different children to showcase their strengths. Finally, and most importantly, be a healthy role model. Children watch and learn from you. If you're eating a healthy snack and being active, chances are the kids will follow suit.
I like to eat healthy because I like to stay active and strong.
It's fun to play in the gym outside and do active things.
It helps you be healthy, it helps you be strong, and it's just way of being you.
I feel that it's good to be active because it lets out all the stress that they have during the school days when they're inside and in the chairs, and so that when they come here, they have example to like be out and free and just explore and talk to new people and meet new people.
Not a lot of people come from a household where they are being taught to eat healthy, and if we teach them here, then that's something they could keep like long term into their own lives.
If you're interested in Ottawa Public Health's food skills and physical activity program for children and youth, check out our other video called I Love to Cook and Play. To get your copy of Ottawa Public Health's Healthy Eating and Active Living Guidelines, please visit the ottawapublichealth.ca website. For more information, or if you have any questions about the guidelines, please send an email to nutrition@ottawa.ca.